Trong suốt tuần lễ cấp cao APEC 2017, từ 6 tới 11 tháng 11, sẽ diễn ra rất nhiều hoạt động sôi nổi ngay tại nơi đây, Trung tâm Báo chí Quốc tế, với sự tham dự của rất nhiều phóng viên trong cũng như ngoài nước. Các phóng viên quốc tế tới đây từ những nơi đâu và mục tiêu của họ trong lần APEC này là những gì? Chúng ta hãy cùng tìm hiểu.
My agency is Agencia EFE. It's the major news agency in Spanish in the world. And we are covering APEC with a special focus on the Latin American countries participating here, which are Mexico, Chile, and Peru. And of course, we will also pay attention to the big events during the week, especially during the Leader Summit Thursday and Friday, and the possible meeting between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin. The facility seems good. It's a modern building. The problem is that it's a little bit far from where the action is taking place. But the facilities here, they seem okay so far. We didn't have the chance to have a press conference yet, so we cannot judge totally. But so far, it seems good.
Our target is in this coverage about the TPP meetings. So because it's many Japanese farmers is worried about it. So TPP's their goals. So many exporting things. So how it where is the goal? And also we worried about it. New Zealand. So they join or not? Or United States? How about them? So because that. So we have to cover. Our target is the TPP meetings. Prime Minister Abe and Mr. Trump is very good relationships from first day Mr. Trump's terms. So this is good for Japanese and the United States. There are many things. Many Japanese worried about North Korean issue. Now it's most important things. So they already shows good strength relationships, but that it's good for the North Korean issues.
Next year, my country will be taking over the host as a host country. It will be APEC PNG 2018. Now back at home, preparations are well underway with building of infrastructure, networks, and all these things that we require for the APEC. Particularly important for us to come over here. Now we are here in a big numbers, about 120 of us, including 5 journalists. We are here to cover these aspects here. But in more particular, Papua New Guinea is a developing country, just like Vietnam. There's a lot that it needs to learn from Vietnam, especially with the small to medium enterprises sector.
And we're here to cover this APEC as we've covered every APEC. I am the Vietnam correspondent, so the whole team is down in Da Nang to cover this big event. It is actually like the star diplomatic event that Vietnam is hosting in years. So we know that this is a big deal for the country. So of course it's a big deal for the bureau who are stationed here. Our key focus for this APEC would be really to watch out for what is going to come out of the TPP 11. That is we understand the negotiators are really working hard now somewhere in Da Nang to figure out what can be announced, what kind of agreement the 11 TPP signatories can come up with now that the US is no longer part of the process. So that's something that we're very, very keenly watching. The Trans-Pacific Partnership was a big deal for Vietnam, who was going to be the biggest beneficiary of the trade pact. But now everything's up in the air, so there's a lot of anticipation about that from our side, just like other news media, I imagine. And of course, this event is bringing all these world leaders onto Vietnam shores, specifically in Da Nang. And Da Nang is a very famous location for Vietnamese people. It is known as the cleanest, most livable city of Vietnam. But outside of Vietnam, actually not a lot of people know what the big deal is all about. So we have actually been doing a few features about the city. A few weeks before we came here for the APEC summit, just to give our viewers across the region, across Asia, a sense of what the city is about. So we had some soft stories like, the environmental consciousness emerging in Da Nang to protect a neighboring nature reserve just 10 minutes drive outside of the city called Sencha. We've also done a story about some of the urban infrastructural challenges that Da Nang is facing as it's developing very, very quickly in the last 20 years. So, whether it's wastewater treatment, waste treatment, roads, transport, what's happening on the ground as, Vietnam gears up, Da Nang gears up for APEC. Wherever the US goes, wherever the US president goes, he's making the news. So we're also watching out for that. Mr. Trump is going to be speaking at the CEO's summit. We imagine that we're expecting to hear from him what kind of Asia policy the US administration has now that, the term Asia pivot of Mr. Obama's administration is no longer being used. So we're looking forward to hear about that. But we also know that Mr. Trump is expected to talk about, his Northeast Asia policy, which has been the focus of U.S. foreign policy so far. So more about North Korea, I imagine.
Chương trình được bảo trợ bởi